Cute boy. Are you my cute little boy? I don't know how that works. But hi Sue. Hey, I got a thumbs up before I actually got a person in the room. It's like, what? How the hell does that happen? Yeah, I know. I've been puttering around here and just I needed a break from puttering around, I think. Oh, thanks for sharing there, Willie. Hello, Oklahoma. We're all used to me being late because Brent sleeps in from his naps. The sun was shining, and by the looks of it, I might be losing it. Oh, very shortly. Just behind the bus. I might have to move the setup I have here. It's not snowing here. It's sunny out, blue skies. It was very chilly this morning. I think I had my door cracked open a little bit. That could have possibly helped out the situation. It was 2 degrees, which is cold for here on the West Coast. By the way, I made it back to the coast. I am still on the mainland, but even 2 degrees down here on the coast with this humidity makes it feel a lot colder than it actually is. Good morning, my buddy from Nova Scotia. It's good to see you here. Sorry I'm early. I hope I didn't wake you up from your nap. We're just, hanging out. I'm at Wayne's place, from Wayne's Ambo World. Well, we have been hard at it, tying up some loose ends here, trying to get things back to normal after my big battery swap. Some things didn't work, some things needed looking at. And we added a huge, how does Trump say that? Huge, I can't remember. China. A huge inverter. I have a 3,500 watt inverter that I added to my arsenal. So I think Brent's next purchase is going to be, drum roll, please. I think we're going to get ourselves a Keurig pod coffee maker. That way I can cut back my coffee even more, because what happens is I have 2 ways of making coffee. China. 2 ways of making coffee. I make it in my French press. It makes me 2 huge cups of coffee, or about 3 cups of coffee. I usually like 1, maybe 2, but I hate throwing it away, so I end up drinking it. And my percolator, which I use a lot camping when it's the summertime, is actually a 6 cupper, so you get like 5 cups to that. So I think we're going to go out and we're going to see about getting one of those coffee machines where you just put a pod in and you hit the button and it comes on, and my inverter should be able to handle that. It should be able to handle microwaves if I wanted, once I build up more battery power. I do have 200 amp hours, but they say to have a minimum of 300 to 400. So we have another battery coming, which will bring it up to the 300 mark, and I'll feel a little bit more safe. Did you get your top light on your home? Top light. Oh, you mean that clearance light? No, and I can't figure out. We've been looking at it. So what I'm looking at actually is waves of connecting the lights from lights to light with wires, but trying to seal the actual wires as they go into the lights. That way we will have access to at least power from 1 or 2 or 3 different ones, and we'll be able to hook up the ones that do not have power. So we did get our my hood fan. My hood fan is now hooked up and running, which is my exhaust fan in the roof. For some reason, when I swapped the batteries over, I couldn't figure out where the wires were or how they hooked up, and I couldn't get them to work. Stupid me, thinking I'd burnt out my control panel that controlled the actual fan. I threw it out, I think. So I had Wayne here Mickey Mouse me up one. Well, from a technician, it's not Mickey Mouse. It's pretty elaborate. He gave me an on-off switch that not only does forward, it also does reverse. And we also had a variable speed switch. So we installed two switches onto my fan. So now I can adjust the speed and have it exhaust or inhale the through the roof. So we're pretty happy with that. It was a long day yesterday. I was climbing under the bus. We went to Lordco to get some electronics. And when we came out from there, there was a puddle of antifreeze under my vehicle. So we had to, I became a mechanic yesterday while Wayne pulled off his technical skills and played inside the van. And what a mess we both created. It was hilarious. But here's the funny thing, eh? Us two old farts, eh? We were sitting down having dinner last night, and it was like, what time is it? I'm dead. I was like, oh my God. Alexa, what time is it? It's 5:30. Hey, Trish, how's it going? So at 5:30, us two old farts were pretty exhausted. I said, I can't sit with you any longer, Wayne. I was in his ambo having dinner, and so I climbed in my van and got the fire going, and I'm hanging out in there, and I'm like, screw this. I climbed into bed, and I bet you by 6:30 I was sleeping. I woke up around 11:30 and went, holy crap, what happened? And then I slept till 9:15 this morning. So I did wake up this morning and apologize because he did say he wanted to go downtown and do some shopping. And he said, no, don't worry about it. I didn't wake up till 9:15. So we both beat ourselves up yesterday. Oh, Miss Bishop, I'm glad you had a short nap today. Ronnie Fast, how you doing, sir? I'm over here in the thriving metropolis of Agassiz right now, hanging out with my buddy Wayne. I just got down here a couple of days ago. Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I love the Dartmouth. They have some pretty cool cemeteries over there in Dartmouth, I'll tell you. Mm-hmm. The weird things that Brent goes and looks at when he goes to different places. Yes, and it was teamwork. It was amazing. We had a great day together. We get along so well. I just love it. Like we're a couple of jokesters, but when it comes to working, we just work away and get our things done. And it's quite amazing. We have a lot of fun. Oh, look at there's Wayne there. Wayne, get to work. Yeah, he couldn't even watch a hockey game, an exciting hockey game. You know, those Vancouver next exciting hockey games against those newly up and running McCrackens from the Seattle. Is it, Sue? It's beautiful here. We're over here in the lower mainland, so we're just outside of Chilliwack, east of Chilliwack, so right down here on the Fraser River. And yeah, it's a gorgeous day this morning. A bit cold this morning. I think it was 3 and felt like 2 or something like that, which is a bit chilly. And there's Linda from Constant Van Life. How's it going, Linda? It's gorgeous here. I don't know where you're. You're still on Campbell River, I'm guessing. Might be a bit grayer up there. It's weird how I know where people are, right? Yeah, so we're just hanging here. Here's the dude. Come on, Mom. You're the star of the show. I put you on the front title page, dude. Yeah, I said, come and see the dude. So here's how good the dude is. The dude, I put the dude's leash on this morning, and I let him out the door, tied to the van, of course. And he goes whipping out the door, and I look down, and his leash is still inside the van, and he's outside taking off with no leash. I'm like, hey, hold on a second here. Dude, come here. And he came back, and I said, come here, into the van. And he's like, what do you want, Dad? And I was like, oh, my God. He listened. He came back. He didn't bolt. He bolted yesterday, and the rope came untied, and he went across the street because there's a puppy across the street that keeps barking. Okay, Willie, make sure you wash it really good. If you wash it too good, people will start to wonder. Have a great day, sir, and we'll have a cook-off soon as you get to BC, because I won't be out there till at least summertime. That's right. He came back and he listened. He's growing up finally. He's amazing. Oh, well, helped me more than you know from time to time. You know what? I'm happy to hear that, Mashed. And I do love the East Coast, and I really hope to make it out there again one day. I don't think it'll be in the next year or two, but you never know. I know I did ponder once flying out to Newfoundland and renting a van and just going to Canadian Tire, get an air mattress and a cooler and a butane stove, and then go spending like a month or two or whatever on in Newfoundland, because that's one place that blew me away. But yes, mashed, one mashed life, one mashed potato. If I'm ever out there, I usually just, all you got to do is keep me in posted. Like, if you know I'm headed east and you know that my videos are a week behind schedule, make sure you go down and underneath my videos, you'll find my email address and you can send me an email saying, Brent, here's my phone number. Here's my address. Here's something. Give me a toot when you're in the town, okay? Please. And we'll hang out. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. Brandon, how's it going, buddy? Beautiful day here over on the mainland. I hope it is in Victoria. Actually, it is. Sue told me it was, so I'll listen to what she has to say. Yeah, so we finally got it out of Kelowna. It's funny how you're out helping out, and still you feel that your welcome is overstayed. Hey, you guys get that when you go visit people? And the first day is like beautiful, and the second day is like, oh, that's nice, and the third day you're getting kind of bored, and the fourth day you're like, okay, I've overstayed my welcome. I think I'm going to go now. And they're like, no, stay. And I'm like, well, it doesn't feel comfortable anymore. So then I was up in Kelowna for a week, I believe it was. And yeah, overstayed, really. I worked the whole time I was there. I had one day off to work on my stuff. But yeah, they're used to, I think we as humans get used to our normal day of life. Like, it's, we get into that routine. Not so much in van life, even though we still have it in van life. It changes up a little bit more so, um, because we have to find different places to stay and live, and stuff like that. And survival's a little bit different in a home, in a rolling home. You don't have as much space to store food and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that we all get into that. I'm going to call it a rut. What else do you want to call it? I mean, ruts aren't bad, but they're definitely something that we create. And I think that's something we don't create as deep a ruts in van life. We actually get to uh, make new pathways quite often and see new things. And like, I couldn't imagine being a dog. Like, I cannot imagine being the dude. I mean, he goes nuts. Like, when we're here and he's relaxed now because we've been here for a couple days. This is the third day. So I got here 2 days ago in the afternoon, spent all day yesterday working, and this is day 3. So he's just lounging with me, sitting out in the sun and having a time. But when we pull in here, he's like, oh my God, a new place. Wonder what it smells like. Where can I go pee? This is awesome. Right? And I was like, okay, I peed here before and I pooped there before, and there better not be any dogs walking by, because I'm going to let them know that this is my place now. And so, yeah. But I remember living in my house, and I think that's the biggest thing that kicked me in the butt and jumped me into a van was like, I spent a year, I retired for a year because of the health of myself and the health of my mother. And so I watched her die of dementia, and I got to see a lot of, review a lot of her life and my life, about how she never got to see a lot in life. And there she was, dying. And I realized that that's not something I wanted to do. I didn't want to work and work and work, and then all of a sudden not have anything to do, and all of a sudden just sit around. And I found that in that year when I quit working, um, that I was kind of just sitting around doing nothing. And I got rid of the news, and I got rid of TV, and I got rid of everything, right? And I just found myself getting really kind of bored. And so that's when my kids said, "Oh, thanks, Wayne. It's a Chips Ahoy coin today." Oh, I got it on the shoulder, dude.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's the word.
Thanks, bud. So when my kid wanted me to move to Alberta, and I decided I was going to sell my house and move to Alberta. And I remember sitting, like, I'd sold my house, everything was packed away, I was getting ready to move, and there I was, sitting on my back deck, going, what the hell did I just do? Because when you spend like 15 plus years in one house, and it's your house, and you've collected all this crap, and you've done all this stuff, and you're like, whoa. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, what did I do? I don't have a home anymore. Everything I saved is in one vehicle. What am I going to do? And literally from the woods came a noise saying van life. And I laughed at it at the time because I'd bought in a van, and it was empty. It was a Sprinter van and full of my last worldly desires of, whatever I had. That I was going to move to Alberta and be closer to my kids with. And when I got to Alberta, COVID was there. I couldn't do this. I couldn't get that. Finding property was almost impossible. I was like, screw this after 3 months. Converted my Sprinter van into a van and went back to Vancouver Island. And I've never looked back since. That was 3 years ago. So it's been quite a joy to re-experience life in a different way on a consistent basis. It's like having a holiday all the time, right? But not, because it's not a holiday, because you have to work to live. So here we are. Quick shout out to people here. Alberta and Stella's in the house. Hey, Bubbles showed up. Chris V. Yo, Glenna, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up when you're in here, and remember to tell all your friends what a wonderful guy this is, and you should be watching it on YouTube and help spread the word, because he is all about peace, love, and granola and chocolate chip cookies. Don't forget beer. I'm still hearing voices. Oh yeah, mostly when I'm off my medication, Sue. Smart ass. I've only crossed paths with Chrome twice. Once I was at my friend's house, and he bought that ambulance off him. And once when he came to drop off Jeff's van after they tried fixing it or cleaning it or something. Your cookie's right here. I'll put it right here in the laptop. You can come and get it. Aw, soul feeding. I loved your little video you posted the other day there, Pixie, of the ocean. I love watching those things. They kind of remind me of when I'm not at the coast. I don't know what lake you're on, but it reminds me of the ocean. So, Glenna brings up a good topic. My laugh. My laugh is infamous. Meaning so that I've had it forever, all 60 years of my life. And everybody comments on it, saying they love it or they hate it, but nobody ever hates it. They just love it, but they try to describe it to me. So let's see what you guys think my laugh is like. Eh? I do spend time in Calgary, Mashed. My kids, I have 2 kids in Alberta, and 4 grandkids or whatever, right? So I go up there and visit them every year, if not twice. I was contemplating going there this year. There's some other things that are popping up that I need to take care of. But yeah, I'm usually up there every year hanging out, going and visit them, taking off, come back and visit them, and then I come back to the coast type of thing. Or whether I'm driving out to Dartmouth and then stop there on the way there and then stop there on the way back type of thing. So yeah. So yeah, we stop in Calgary, and then I got this new guy, the Willie's truck Chef Boyardee guy that keeps calling me out because he knows I'm a better cook than he is, but he's trying to put on a cooking show to make me look bad. And I'm just kidding, Willie. I love it. We have a little banter going back and forth. He wants to have a cook off, right? But I mean, the only way he can beat me cooking is if he actually does some authentic Newfoundland cooking, right? He needs to break out the cod cheeks and tongues and real fried bologna, because you can't go buy sliced bologna. Like, we can only buy sliced bologna here on the West Coast, out west. But out there, they buy it in the slabs and they cut them to size. So you want a big eat-out there? We can give a big eat-out there. So yeah, that, and they got to bring their crab out, and they got to bring they'll have to learn they'll have to get some really newfie stuff out here to kick my butt. Hold on, that's a good question. Oh, Constant saw Chrome. That's cool. I have a box to send BrentsVanLife Jr. by Monday. Nice. He just picked up a bunch of stuff I saw today on his little video. Did you ever consider living out of a van as a physical challenges mount? Do you ever consider living out of a van? I've had physical challenges for 30 years. So I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of 30. My bones and joints are all deteriorated. I have 20 to 30% dexterity in my wrists. Both my knees are shot. My ankles are shot. And I have losing the use of one of my shoulders. So it's no different. I think this life here takes away from me focusing on that crap, and I get to live a different life that, it's full of joy and fun and happiness, and getting to hang out with crazy people and happy people, and taking uncrazy people and unhappy people and making them crazy and happy. So I think it's all in what you look at in your lives. It's all about, what are we going to do with our lives? It's like, we can sit and be humbum about it, or we can just, keep going forward. Tina, how's it going? I'm a great cook. You want to know something? I was blessed to be growing up in the restaurant business. So by the time I was 12 years old, I was working as a busboy. I've worked every element of the business. I can remember being 14, 15 years old and going down to the restaurant and grabbing a filet wrapped in bacon and escargots and baked potatoes and bringing them home and cooking them to my girlfriends and stuff like that, because they thought I was amazing. And all I was just doing was doing prefab food. So I was blessed enough to work in the kitchen and work behind the bar and work as management and do all that stuff in bars. So yeah, I feel pretty blessed that I was raised that way to be able such a great, good cook. I'm not gonna say great, but yeah, I am pretty good. Bebop and Becca, how's in the house? How's it going? Peter Jones, Mr. Jones. Peace, brother. Living the best life that we can. And that is so right. It's about putting your foot in front of the other, accepting the challenges that are put there. Don't make a big deal out of them. We all fail. All we need to learn a lesson, and we keep going, moving forward. We'll get to it, right? That's another thing I always realize. It's not working right now. I'll get to it. That's what good thing is with having a good friend like Wayne. He helps me get to it, because he does things that I kind of understand, but a little scared to do. And he's like, John, here, I'll show you. And then plus he has every tool under the belt book for it too, eh? When are we me and Jeffy are gonna do some traveling as soon as he gets his button gear. He's probably got another year. I can't see him making it out here next year. at all. He's lucky if he's going to be, I believe, like he could baffle us all, but I think he'll probably spend next summer doing like New York and Quebec and provinces around there, Toronto and Ontario and stuff like that. And so I imagine he'll be hanging out there, getting used to his driving, getting used to his camping. He's got to figure things out. And he's not just jumping into a van, remember. He's jumping into a van with no legs and a wheelchair. So he's got a lot of stuff to figure out. What do you hear? You hear a puppy? Do you? It's okay. Yeah, right. One mash is really good. Where are you? Okay. Just recently, I've been thinking about going into subsidized housing in the Nanaimo. I don't have a big income. I definitely don't make any money on here. So basically, what's going to happen is I sold everything. I've invested some money. I spent a lot of money, and I'm just kind of waiting for see what happens. But as my health starts to fade, I get kind of worried at times. So the problem is if I go in too early and get my housing, then I'll have to spend that much money on housing every month, which would limit my driving and camping. And yeah, it's just what do they call that? Dog eat dog, not dog eat dog. Catch 22 type of thing that I'm playing with. But it is in my head. I think that I will be putting my name on a list one day. Bar foodies, blah, blah, blah. And he is doing well with his van. I talk to Jeff probably 2 or 3 times a week on the phone. Somebody got it in his mind. I'm wondering if that's what's happening to my lower back too. I'm getting lower back pains much more and more and more, and I'm wondering if I'm getting creep in there. They even told me I might even have it in my lungs. Rheumatoid arthritis in your lungs. Figure that one out. Yeah, they call it the golden years, eh? When we start getting old, it's like, why? Is it because we pee so much? Oh, sorry. I was holding it for you, wasn't I? Oh, well, I think I might be able to find another one. And Sue, I think that's what the biggest thing that I've had throughout my whole life is having a sense of humor. It's like trying to laugh at, things. And sometimes it became inappropriate because, I think that sometimes you are, and I've always tried to make enlighten the situation. But other people just want to stay in that gloom and gloom. And you will get reprimanded for trying to be a little bit funny or something like this. And maybe they're not the best of circumstances. But you know what? That's what we learn from. Like, okay, I understand. No problem. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yada, yada, yada. That's another thing is, acknowledge that, you're not always right. Oh, God, my fingers are starting to get tight and cold. I've met the cat lady a couple times. Yes, I met her once in Squamish, once in Penticton, and a couple times during the Jeffy Bear van excursion. Very nice lady, very sweet, very big-hearted, I would say what she is. Yeah. Glenna loves everybody. Glenna, you got a van yet? You should come out here, visit us. We're all over here on Vancouver Island. Well, I'm not there, but I'm going there. Good cookie, Alberta. So, we're less than a month away to Christmas. What are you guys doing for Christmas? Remember the old days, Sue? I don't know if you were born here. I was born on Vancouver Island. And we used to talk about there's gonna be a big earthquake one day and the whole island is gonna slide into the ocean. Well, that was the old way that the old people used to live on Vancouver Island, used to tell people so they wouldn't come to the island, because when you actually go to Vancouver Island, like you used to step back in time. You still do in a lot of places, especially up north. But it becomes a lot slower paced place. Well, over the years, since Vancouver has turned in such a monstrosity of a huge metropolis, people are moving over to the island because their $250,000 homes are now worth $250 million, and they can afford to fly back and forth. And all of a sudden, the pace on Vancouver Island has picked up a bit, especially in Nanaimo, where I'm from. So yeah, we always had that saying, like, yeah, you don't want to come here. It's not that nice. People don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, there you go. We're not going to the island. There could be an earthquake and it'll fall into the ocean and we'll all die. What a great way to die, though, eh? That'd be so cool, eh? Just I thought about putting, I was jokingly telling people that when they asked me what questions they have, I used to live in a mobile home. And I said, well, yeah, well, you know what I did? I just went and got those big blue plastic barrels, 50-gallon barrels, and I strapped them all to the bottom of my mobile home. So that way, if and when we do sink into the ocean, mine will pop up to the top of the water and I'll have a houseboat. Figure that one out. Cookies are all gone. Oh, wow. 1959, eh? 1963 for this guy. Oh, I didn't know that, Claire. And probably, well, what's the population? Probably 1 million times more? Couple million more? Scotland? Really? Are you serious? Oh, sorry, I was thinking Ireland. Scotland. Yeah. Propeller on the bus. You guys, I love your sense of humor. It's stupid like mine. Oh my God, my back is killing me. What were we doing for Christmas? I thought I asked. Lazy tea. Yes, I really concur about being in the school bus. It's been a blessing since I moved into it. It is a bit harder to heat and stay warm in. We're figuring things out there. But yeah, the room and the spaciousness and the comfortability of it and everything. I mean, it cost me twice as much for fuel. I was looking, and my old Volkswagen was going to be going up for sale, and I contemplating it because it didn't have a pop top in it. But then I thought, you don't have the storage or anything to carry anything in. So Volkswagens will be out of my life for some time now, until I totally retire and move into a sticks and bricks, and I'm limited to my summer fun. Hello, Rachel. How's it going, sweetheart? Good to see you hanging out with the bear there, feeding gum to the poor seagulls. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Actually, no nibbles on the van at all. I have not even put it up for sale. Wrong time of the year to be selling Volkswagens. We're going to go back to the shop. I still have a few things I want to do to it. I'm going to put on some temporary insurance. I got to take it out to a friend's house, get some things welded up on it. I cut some holes in the floor that I want to seal up, so we'll get those sealed up properly. Or maybe I'll glue them. We'll find out. We'll do something. We have to do things properly and get them done. Put it back to hot rod selling situation, and then probably put up for sale in March or something. So that's usually get your best $1 for them. Hello, Sandra from Arizona. Oh, no, Arizona. Yes, you're from Prescott. That's right. Okay, we'll let you off then, Glenna. You just keep being the family caregiver, because I understand that job. Yeah. 5.5 million. A Volkswagen. Oh, I thought it was all one word, Susan. That'd be interesting to see what it is. 7,000 seems a little bit cheap. So when they come cheap like that, you really got to watch out for where the rust is in them. Usually the front beams are gone, or rear suspension starts to go in them. And usually they need all the bottom foot of metal replaced in them. And when you start talking about that stuff, you start talking about thousands and thousands of dollars of metal and labor, and right, and then it all needs to be painted. So, it could cost you another 20 grand after you pay 7 grand just to get the body up and looking nice, let alone what the motors is in. I had a motor rebuilt for me. It was a Type 4 motor in my last one, and it cost me $5,000, and it had to be rebuilt twice. Like the guy rebuilt it, and then something went wrong, and I gave it back to him, and he rebuilt it again, and then I made him rebuild it a third time. And that was all under warranty, but still, that's downtime, and $5,000 is big money for a motor rebuild, right? So 7 grand is cheap. Buyer beware. Yeah, it's good, Alberta. I mean, the the gas mileage, like see if you can find a diesel with low mileage on it or something like this. Even an ambulance, because you know that any bus that's excuse it's getting cold, so my lungs are being affected by the cold dampness. Maybe I better have a beer. That's something I would look for, is a diesel. You're going to get much better gas mileage in them. It costs you more to fix. That's the only problem. So, like I loved my Sprinter van. It just wasn't tall enough, and every time I broke down, it was $1,000. This one here could be $100. So, like I went in last night, and it was a thermostat and a couple gauges or something. This was $60, $70. But what would that cost on a diesel Mercedes or diesel thing? Yeah, they're all different things. So it pays to do your research. But yeah, make sure you can stand up in it. Mine is a stand-up model. There's a lot of them that aren't stand-up, depending on how tall you are. If you're short like Rachel, you probably get away with it. But she lives in a minivan, and she stands up in her minivan. Tofu Tuesdays. I'm not looking for one. I've owned quite a number of them. My last one that I had, I wish I had a picture of it, you guys. So the one I had before my white one, I was going to buy the white one that you guys all know about. And I was on we made a deal, and on the next day I was on my way to go get the money from the bank, and I got a phone call from the owner. He goes, "I can't do it, Brent. I can't sell it." Well, I'm like, and I'd already had mine sold, and I had a green one with a pop top that went like this. But I knew where there was another one, so I went and visited a friend of mine who had one. It had been sitting, and he wasn't doing anything with it. I said, "What are you gonna do?" He goes, "Well, I don't know." So I conned him into buying it from him. And it was one of the last years. It was a 1978 Volkswagen van, blue, but it had the Riviera top in it. And the Riviera top was produced out of Washington State, and it went straight up, right? And yeah, you don't see a lot of them up here in BC. So I was infatuated with that. And so I bought it from him, and I started to fix it up. And then I thought, I know what I want to do. And what I did was I stuck a 6-inch lift kit into it. So I pulled the motor out, got the motor rebuilt, ordered parts from California, got a bunch of lift kit stuff for it, got lift spindles, drop things on the back, and we lifted this thing up. And then I went and bought mags for it, and I put big BF Goodrich mud terrains on it. It was freaking awesome, right? Big bull bar on the front. There was like LED across the top. There was like lights on the bottom, rope hanging off of it. It was skookum looking, right? And I had a girlfriend at the time, and she didn't like sleeping in my van. She didn't like sleeping in my old van, and she definitely likes sleeping in this van because the mattresses are so thin. But they're thin, but they're got that heavy orthopedic thickness to them, so they don't whatever, right? Oh, really, Tofu? Yeah, Rivieres are rocking, eh? Yeah, mine was a 78. So, anyways, I found a trailer, and this trailer was 230 pounds. It was made out of polyurethane. So it was silver, and it looked like the egg from Mork from Ork. And I seen it in the back of this guy's yard out in the country. So I knocked on his door and found out they were just a knockoff for 1 year out of Spokane, Washington. Not Spokane, the interior one. And they'd only built them for a year and a half, and they went out of business. They're the same thing as with those Thule roof racks, those THULE roof racks, not roof racks, but roof baskets that you see that open up in a clamshell. So they're made out of the same stuff as that. So they're ultra uber light. You could stick a queen size bed inside of it. Mine had a double foamy bed inside. It had gull wing doors on either side, so you could climb in from either side, and the back end opened up like a teardrop trailer. And there was a kitchen back there. It was all made of plastic. So, hey, thanks, Rob. Shazbot, nanu. So what I ended up doing was I painted it the same color as my van. And then I went down to this golf pro shop and I bought used mags from golf carts that looked like mine. And I painted them so they would match. But it ran like this, right? Because I had a 6-inch lift. So I put a lift kit into the trailer too. So I traveled all over BC and Alberta 1 year, man. And oh my God, it was insane. People like driving down the road were just freaking out, and you pull over for gas, and no, it wasn't like a scamp at all. It was like literally a teardrop trailer, right? The small little teardrops that you climb in and you only sleep in, and the back end's the kitchen, but made of plastic. And it was like all round. There's no square edges on it whatsoever. It was all round. It was literally, I'm not kidding. When I saw it, I thought it was Mork from Ork's egg that he landed in from Mork and Mindy. That is not a lie whatsoever. I'll show you guys one day. I plan on one day, like when I go through my Facebook, because all my pictures I've thrown away everything. So I'm hoping all my pictures are like on Facebook, that I can do a collage and we can sit down and BS about Volkswagens one day, because everybody has a Volkswagen story. Everybody has a Volkswagen story, whether your grandparents had one or your buddy at school had one, or yeah. So we'll be trying to pull that off one day when I get my brain under control a little bit. Rob, I really appreciate that. That's, you know what that does? That means I can actually feed my dog. He's starting to get really skinny, and he's begging again. I'm getting mad at him. So I guess I can actually go buy him some kibble. You're the man. Anyways, that's my story about Volkswagens. And you know what? I sold it, and I didn't make any money off it. I made a lot of friends, and I made a lot of fun stuff happen. I got my money back out of it, and the guy's had it now for 3 or 4 years, and he's never fixed the problem. The problem I did was because it was so high off the ground, it had problems with the axles, and the CV joints. So I've went through 4 different types of CV joints, and actually I was going to have to change the output shafts from the tranny and the input shafts from the rear tires and replace them with Porsche 930 axles and CVs. That was the last thing I needed to do, and it was like another $1,000. But oh my God, it was so much fun. It's such a cool vehicle. It would do 75 miles an hour down the highway, no problem, because the tire was so big. Once you got rolling, it would fly, and people would sit there and go like, they'd be driving down the highway trying to catch me. And they'd be like, what the hell's he got in that thing? Pulling a trailer. Oh, Okay, Glenna, go ahead. Everybody's got their Volkswagen story. Maybe we should have one of those lives where you can actually have people pop up. I'm surprised they don't have that. Where is it? Right here. So sometimes they used to have, like, I used to be on this website called Blog TV, and this is all it was live stuff like this. I would, fixing my vehicle and have my camera with me, blah, blah, blah. And, but we could bring guests up, and they do have it here, but it's quite the process for me to get people to come up. I have to get a hold of you in advance and send you a link and all this other crap. I just can't click on you and say, come on up. Hello, friends. How's it going? I seen all your beautiful pictures you've posted on their Facebook there. I love your life. And yes, there is fast Volkswagens. There's one for sale right now that will do about 8 seconds in the quarter mile out here on the West Coast if you're interested in buying it, with a Volkswagen motor, of course. Mine just is one of those ones that happens to 0 to 60 in 20 seconds. Or was it 20 minutes? I can't remember. Yes. Oh, I've heard of Streamyard. So do I do Streamyard? Oh, I do. It's an application, isn't it, that I put on, and then, but then doesn't the other person have to have Streamyard? See what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where there's no easy way to do it. You have to actually, work with other people instead of me just going like the old website I used to see Sue over here, and I used to go over to the chat, and I click on Sue's name, and she would come up. She would accept or decline. So that's called a nightmare, by the way, Rachel. Nobody dreams to have a Volkswagen. It's a nightmare. Well, maybe I'll look into the StreamYard. The reason I asked VanLife Gina, Gina does it. Oh, okay. I don't get out much, eh? I'm so busy, taking care of the dude. Hi, dude. I love his eyes, eh? You guys ever see his eyes? He has this these brown eyes that are human like not kidding. I think I woke up the neighbors. What time is it? 47, 48 minutes. We have 12 minutes left. Okay. Let me know if that stuff bugs you, and we'll shut her down early. I have no idea where that's coming from. Come here, dude. Come here. Hang on, he has to stretch. Come here. Come here. Somebody here? Come here. Thank you. Oh, come on. Up. I don't know if you can see it in here. See those eyes? Right? He says, I see a cute girl next door, Dad. Hang on a second. I'm going to go say hi. Dave! How you doing, buddy? Are you still... No, I'm not in the interior. How's your health? Are you back at her or still hanging around the homestead? Hang on. Let's see what happens. Oh, my back. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my back. Oh, guess what? I even forgot my chair outside here. Look at this place. I've been busy today. There we go. We got out of the noise a bit here. I'm in the lower mainland right now there, Dave. Oh, still waiting. That's not good. It's true. Like Volkswagens, I don't know. Like, there's a documentary called The Bus Movie. I can't remember who made it. He has a weird name. I went and saw the premiere when it was down in Vancouver. And the guy nailed it. Like, he started talking about the history. But basically, it's just one of those things that he started telling stories. And this one guy was living out of the van. He was a country singer, and he traveled around. And he'd put out one of those. Remember those little Cokes? You go to the restaurant signs, and you'd pull the letters off, and it was white, and the letters would fit in, and it was from Coca-Cola. And he would have this sign saying, "Tell me what color you think I should paint my van, $10. Tell me a story about your grandpa driving one, $20. Tell me." Because it's something that just happens. Everybody comes up with a story. I had a van just like yours, but it had a pop top and it was green and it and I'm like, so it wasn't just like mine. Because they're all the same. And the reason this being is when you really stop down and look at the history of the Volkswagen van, because once you get me talking about Volkswagens, you guys are like screwed, okay? But once you find out about the history of a Volkswagen, they're the only vehicle that was actually mass produced in Germany and shipped all over the world, and they all look the same, even if they had the steering wheels on the wrong side of the road. And you can't say that about any other manufacturer. Ford had their cars, but when Ford went down to Australia, we didn't have Ford Utes. What? What's a Ford Ute? And the different types of vehicles they had that were shipped in different places and built in different places were all like different, except for the Volkswagen Bug Type 1 and the Volkswagen Van, the Type 2. So that's the neat thing about it, because everybody's seen one, everybody knows about them, everybody knows the history about them going up hills and being slow and blah, 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 yada, yada. But they're so much fun to drive. And it's fun to be a communication thing. I love that. I love talking to people about it. Oh, did I screw up? Hello? Testing 1, 2. Are we okay in here? I forgot to ask. Hello? Testing, testing. I came inside the van, and sometimes when you're wrapped with this much metal, it can screw things up. Okay. Good. Thank you, people. I tried starting in here, but it didn't work, and I shut things down. I got my cooler outside. My cooler was getting ice on my freezer side, so I figured it was time to clean that up. Cooked a nice big barbecue meal for Wayne last night. I'm going to barbecue up a bunch of stuff this afternoon. After this, we're shooting video as we speak, trying to get things cleaned up. I hope to be back on the island on Sunday, I hope. We'll sneak through Vancouver on a Sunday when it's not as busy. People are coming back from either the interior or the island, so I'm going the opposite way of them, heading to the island, and I'll get back on the island. I have a few things up my sleeve. I'm contemplating ripping this whole floor out and restarting it new so I can do it up properly, throw away hundreds of dollars of crap because I did it wrong and didn't think it through, but whatever. Whatever. And it's okay. I like jokes. Nice. What part of the desert are you in, veteran? Are you down there in Quartz Site down in Arizona? Rachel. I think I would like one. I have a few signs I haven't hung up yet. Like, you guys have all seen my Volkswagen sign. I had that made for me because my buddy was building these and I wanted a green one and that stained glass. So he built that specially for me. And I have my bus stop sign over here. We will be putting shelves up on either sides, on the backs up above me and on the other side. But I also have the Goldberg Boulevard sign, and I also have a Brent Road sign I want to hang up in here somewhere. So I have some big dreams over this winter and spring. So by the time we hit the road next year, it'd be kind of cool if I could pull these things off. I would love to get an old style awning for the side. I want to hook up some quick release propane things so I can. I'm talking to a buddy about building our own fire pits, because since we have limited space, is there something smaller we can make a fire pit out of, where we can just build our own and cover with our own lava rocks, but small enough where we could have for 1 or 2 people instead of having to go buy the big full size ones or the super small ones? Like they're super small or they're super big, and I'm like, I want somewhere in between. I want that. I got my table set up and my chair, and I just like to have a place. So when I find that place in the spring and summer that you can like set up and just sit there for like 3 or 4 days and just relax. So never get rid of the Goldberg sign. Never. Actually came from the WCW wrestling when it was up in Kelowna back in the 90s. I got it. Coincidentally, my dog was not named after the wrestler. Well, it kind of was. It was named after him because of the monotone cheer that he had when he would come into the audience, and when he came into the ring, everybody would chant Goldberg. Well, when I got my puppies, I had 6 puppies, and one of them was gold. And I read something on Google saying, in a low monotone voice, communicate with your puppies so they get used to the human voice. And for some reason, the gold dog and monotone triggered Goldberg chant. So that's how he got his name. It wasn't even his name. It was just something I was doing, and it wasn't even my puppy. Like, I mean, I had the mum, so why was I worrying about naming the puppies? Anyways, I ended up having him, and yeah, long story. You know what, Rachel? Anytime, any place you ever want to hook up, you are more than welcome to show up. Okay? We were blessed to meet that one time on, did they call it? Let me guess. Oh, crap. Okay, you have to tell me where it was, Rachel. I want to say Ile, but it's not Ile because that's islands. And it's a thoroughfare. So it's not a quay or a quay or key. Anyways, I was driving down the road one day, and I was in southern Ontario, southeastern Ontario, and I went to pull over to get some video footage of some map, and it was stinking hot. And just as I pull over and I start to unroll my window, and I stick my face out the window, this car pulls up with its camera like hanging out of the window, and they shoved it right in my face, and they were like, "Hi, hi, we thought that was your van. I thought for sure we turned around and chased you down." And it was lovely Rachel Leduc. She was out cruising around in her van, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I cherished that moment, even though we both stood there and like sweated, man. It was crazy. Yeah, anyways. Your sister's dog is Goldberg's brother. My sister's dog, yes. Goldberg's brother is Dexter, except 2 totally different dogs. Totally different. Yeah, even washing machines are too big, veteran. Way too big. Like, they're great if you're gonna. I would take it up and leave it somewhere, right, so other people could use it. But I'm thinking about, those. So you have the small propane tanks. I believe they're called sevens. There's fives, and then there's sevens. Whatever the pot belly one is, the small, short pot belly one. I'm thinking that size, which will give you approximately a foot round. So That's where I think I'm going to go with it. I've watched people on YouTube take plumbing pipes and actually grind them down a little bit and then drill small holes in, and they can get a really nice Long Sault. That's what it is. Long Sault Parkway. Not salt. It's not salt, folk. It's Sault. Like Sault Ste. Marie. It's spelled Salt Ste. Marie. Our Canadian language is insane. Anyways, yes, that's what I'm looking at. So we're kind of talking about that. He might be able to bend the pipes. We'll have to wait and see. Mostly I see is straight edge pipes and they make them into squares or something like that. So we'll figure it out. Life's going to be good. We'll figure everything all out. Anyways, it's been an hour. I've been online here for an hour and 42 seconds. They are make tiny fireplaces I think we can use. I'm going to say peace, love, and granola. Thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate. This is my fun thing we haven't been doing a lot of lately. Is this? Oh, where is it? Oh, Brent. You ever have one of those days when you think you got it all together and then you realize you don't? Well, that's me on a regular basis. That is tough to do. Okay, how's this? Let's end this by all saying, share the love. Make sure you help somebody today. If you're not only helping, just listening helps. I like to fill up my chat full of hearts because it gives everybody a little bit of love, right? So peace, love, and granola. Throw me out some hearts. Share the hearts with everybody. And know that you're loved. And we'll see you guys next Saturday. There will be a video coming out tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a premiere. We'll see you guys around noon tomorrow. Bye!